Every day, a lot of women come in here really struggling with hair thinning, hair loss, and obviously facial laxity. And they're looking for things that they can do naturally, even in between their treatments, or just things that they can do at home that can really help. And honestly, I struggle with these things myself as well. So I'm always looking for new ways that we can improve them. Because honestly, my passion is helping women age with confidence and strength. As I learn these things, I like to share them with you. So definitely be sure to like and subscribe if you are into this kind of content. I like to talk about building strength, building muscle, cellulite, skin laxity, all the things skin related for face and body. What I did not realize until recently was everything is connected to the fascia. As an esthetician and as a personal trainer, they really didn't teach us this. And it is pivotal in how we look and how we feel. And it all starts specifically in the foot. In this video, I'm going to break down from my esthetician point of view and my personal trainer point of view, things that you can do that are going to help you with hair thinning, with facial laxity, that literally just take minutes a day. So just last weekend, I attended a fascia summit, and Tom Myers opened up the summit with a 3-hour presentation. Tom Myers is basically the grandfather of fascia. This is where it really clicked even more for me. He had shown a bunch of images, and while he was talking, talked about the back fascia line and how the fascia is really connected from our foot all the way to the back of our head. So I'll insert an image that I took while I was at the summit. Basically from the bottom of your foot all the way up the back of your body to the back of your head, even coming around to your forehead. So when you're seeing things like hair thinning, facial laxity, especially forehead wrinkling, heaviness in the eye area, it's really not just about your face, your products, your treatments. It could be coming from tension, restriction, lack of movement, anywhere along that back fascial line. So here is what you can do about it. Everything starts at the feet, so we really want to start at the feet. Here is a really interesting way to tell if your back fascial line is tight or restricted. So you want to kind of bend over slowly and come down, and then see if you feel tightness anywhere in the back area here, feel any twinges or anything. And then what you can do is take a ball. I really like this because it opens up and you can utilize it in so many different ways. It has a tiny ball inside, so you can use this as like a little stress ball or even roll on this. If you do that little test and you feel tight, then roll your whole foot and roll for about 1 to 2 minutes. Now you're not aggressively rolling, you're pushing down just a little bit, but you're not really pushing hard. So when I do a lot of cellulite treatments and I talk about fascia sculpting, that's another mistake. We don't want to like crush the tissue. We really want to kind of just hydrate the tissue and relax it. Then after you roll, then you want to do that same test and see, usually you're going to feel less tight, less little tinges on the side that you just relaxed and rolled. So then you obviously want to do both sides, but that just shows how everything is so connected. Just that simple rolling of the foot really helps to release the tension in that back line. So other things I like to do, you can take a pencil or something and then go in between each of your toes and really kind of decompress any tension in the foot. 1 to 3 minutes per toe. Again, like just do this watching TV and you're gonna notice a big difference. You can also take a little band. So this comes, my exercise bands I have, has this little thing on it, but you can use some type of something like this if you have like a bracelet, and do little toe exercises, 1 toe at a time, almost like bicep curls. So you want to hold the band and then you're creating tension for each toe to strengthen each toe. Go toe by toe, really focusing on each toe. Specifically, the big toe is really key in having our foot be strong. Other things that you can do are do toe spreading, because if your toes are really smushed in shoes all day or heels, or getting those toe separators are also really good. Working on opening and closing your toes, just exercising your toes, increasing that blood flow and circulation, releasing tension. It's going to just help your whole body look and feel better. Working our way up the body, what I want to talk about is your workouts, and making sure that your workouts really help to open up the body, especially if you sit a lot or stand a lot and you are more sedentary. Even if you do a 1 workout a day, a lot of people are still sitting a lot. What I didn't realize also is how compressing weight training can be. And I'm not anti-weight training. It's just that I want to make sure you're doing moves that really open up the body. So this is why I really mostly focus for me on band exercises, because they can help me build muscle, but also open up the the body, hydrate the fascia. So they honestly talked a lot about this in the summit, the importance of hydrating our fascia just for helping us to avoid injuries, but to help our bodies just look and feel better. And they're doing a lot of this fascia work with athletes because not only does it help decrease injuries, it helps to increase speed, agility, so many things. So when they talked at the summit about working out your fascia, it's a lot of what I do in my band training. So it's a lot of time under tension, lengthened loading, pulses, and a lot of spiral moves, working in multiple planes. Our fascia really likes spiral moves, rotations, a lot of things that we don't get in traditional weightlifting and classes. Talked about a lot of isometric holds in end ranges, a lot of isometric holds in multiple planes. So say a lunge to the side, working your quad, holding either a band or some type of weight and holding it in front of you and rotating to the opposite side of the leg that you are working. So we're working in multiple planes with tension under load. Your fascia really loves things like this too. It helps to hydrate the fascia, helps to increase glide and shear in the fascia to lubricate us from the inside. And this is, I've talked a lot in my other videos about why this helps with cellulite and skin firming. I just did a 7-day series on building muscle and firming your skin, all through band training. So definitely be sure to check that out if you struggle with cellulite or crepey skin. I think you'll like those. Now, what I didn't realize was from our poor posture, from our head kind of coming forward, from being on our computers, from me doing facials all day, that cuts off our blood flow and circulation to our scalp, even to our brain actually. And it's cutting off circulation to our face. And then we're not getting good nutrient delivery to our face, to our scalp. So our heads weigh about 10 to 12 pounds. But when our head starts to come forward, the pressure increases dramatically. That's more weight. Now you're putting 20, 30, even 40 pounds of pressure on your neck, cutting off the circulation and blood flow. And all of that is feeding your fascia, feeding your hair, your scalp, your face. So cutting that off, you're not getting oxygen and the nutrients your skin and your hair really need. Over time, this definitely will contribute to hair thinning, hair loss, more facial laxity, dull skin, wrinkles. So this is where we really need to also be aware of our posture, because nobody really talks about posture and how it's affecting us as we're aging. Not just how we look, and you can get that curved spine that you see a lot of older people have. I know you don't want that, but that's our collagen will form and stay in that position. And that's not good. I know you don't want to look like that little old lady with the hunchback, but aside from the hunchback, it's cutting off everything to help our hair and our skin to be alive, to be vibrant, to be healthy. So being aware of that, I call them sprinkles. I do these things throughout my day to help increase blood flow and circulation. If you're sitting a lot as well, you can do this in a chair. If just 30 seconds to a few minutes sprinkled throughout your day is going to help. So what I like to do for opening up my back is I would take the band and do these little pumps behind my back, and these also really helped in my cellulite and skin firming, but you can watch those videos. I like to use the band because the band's giving you more resistance. It's acting more like a pump to help increase that blood flow and circulation, help with lymph flow as well. Then I like to kind of do a decompression of my back and really reach up, look up, take a deep breath, come down, and really exhale. I like to do this standing as well. If you can stand at your desk, reach up, pull, come down, exhale, open up your chest. If you're concaved over, make sure your exercises, your workouts open your body. They're not super compressing, because as women, as we're aging, our bodies are already compressed from just our hormones dropping, from poor posture. Our fascia is already tight and compressed. So we need to do as much as we can to open it, to lubricate our fascia so that it is healthier, so that our skin looks better, so that we have nutrients delivered to our skin, to our hair. If you want to learn more about how I train, specifically, I do have a 30-day band program. I have a Sculpt and Glow membership as well, where I talk about everything hair, skin, muscle, fitness, nutrition, all the things. So check those out in the links below. I also have a bunch of free guides on band training, on skin firming. The back of the neck is really associated with a lot of wrinkles in the forehead, even droopy eyes. In my facials, I do a lot of massage, not only to relax my clients, but to help in releasing tension in the back of the neck in this trap area, because so many people have so much tension and compression here. So I really want to elongate this whole area. I like to also use my fascia sculpting tool to really get in here, and then you would bring the tool up into the scalp area. I like to do a lot of fascia sculpting on my scalp to help release any fascia adhesions, just tension in the scalp. I like this tool because it's gentle, it doesn't pull my hair, and it feels good. So I use it in my facials, I use it at home, just a few minutes at night. And then in addition to this, the teeth helping to really get into the scalp, I like to do a little hair pulling, gentle, just at the scalp. You're not pulling the hair, but really stimulating blood flow and circulation. Releasing the tension there is going to help in bringing oxygen and delivering nutrients to your scalp. So when you combine foot activation, the way you train, opening up the body, posture, and the neck, and scalp stimulation, that's when you're going to see things really start to change. I'm also going to do another video on the front fascia line, the jaw, pelvic floor. That whole connection is really fascinating. Really, everything is about the fascia because it's going to help us age better, look better, and feel better. So I will see you in the next one.